Hey, and welcome to VFX Tutors. I'm Josh, and in this tutorial we're actually going to start UVing our flamethrower. So hopefully you've followed all the way through and you've completed your really nice looking and flamethrower, super realistic and accurate. So now we're going to move on to quite an important part, and that's UVing it. So we're going to go through and we're going to go through the UVs as you can sort of see here and make sure it's all production ready and ready to texture. So if you've been enjoying these tutorials, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It really does help. And let's get going. So we're going to probably start at one end and work our way down. It's probably the easiest way. And a lot of this stuff is duplicate anyway, so I shouldn't worry too much. Cool. So what I'll do is just like that, just isolate that. Got a bit of a runny nose this morning. And if you're just picking up this tutorial, in the previous one we had already cleaned up all of our geo, so all of our mesh is clean. There's no history on it. We've just got our simple attributes on it and our Lambert one. So before you start doing any UVs, make sure that you watch the previous video and make sure you clean off your geometry, otherwise it might cause you problems. So if we go to our UV editor, I'm probably going to have to open up a that's where I used to be able to. There we go. That was not the best placement. Let's just leave it open because I like to drag it out of the way sometimes. In fact, let's I don't actually use this that often, so because I usually just stick it in two windows on the other one. It's here somewhere. I'm just being, it's probably because it's early in the morning and I can't quite figure this one out. Oh, here we are. That's what I want. Cool. So as you can see, let's hide that. Our UVs are crazy, and generally I'll always just delete the UV straight away. And because you can't create any cuts or edges on that, you need to go to UV, then select camera based. So now we can cut some edges. So what I will do is it's gonna go to that and cut. So select my UV shout and just Control U, and that will now, if I turn on my checkerboard, you can see that it's nicely unwrapped it. So the one main thing is we got to kind of try and also figure out our texel density and kind of set this from the beginning. So I'm just going to Control U on that one as well. See how that looks. Yeah, it seems all good. Because we want, if we're it really depends on what sort of size textures you're going to use. I want to kind of, because if you're going to use Mari, you can probably use quite a lot of UDIMs. So you can in Substance, but if you have like lots and lots and lots in Substance, it can get a bit sluggish. So I don't want to go too crazy. The main thing is that I want to do is orientate these. I like to sort of, if it's got a pattern, like say like it's a tree, something like that, or it's got grain, go crossways. But if something's up, you kind of orientate it in the same sort of way. But everyone has their own sort of preferences, really. So I'm going to say that's probably reasonable for that. And what we can do, we can go to our transform, and we can go text with density and get. Now this is sampled our text density. Now if we set that, that now matches. And the reason why we do this is so it helps with if you're adding procedural textures, and you don't end up having different size. So if you add like a noise over the top, the scale doesn't change. So as simple as that, we've done our first bit. So what I do like to do is hide it as I go along. And we come to more sort of complicated pieces, but we'll do the same thing. We'll just go UV, delete, and UV camera base to create a camera based projection. And you might want to turn off your checkerboard just so it help with seeing the edges. So I want to select these edges. I'll put this. I try to hide the seams where I can, although now these days, when you have like all these amazing texturing software, you don't necessarily have to forcibly hide seams, but it's definitely good practice. So if I go to cut, I think I've done enough here, and press Ctrl U. And then I can set my text density, and that's always saved, so I know for a fact every time that I do that, it's going to be the same. So now I want to, these are quite small parts, which probably won't really see. So I'm not too bothered if there is ever so slight. Well, we don't want it stretching, but you know what I mean. So if I selected that, it might actually cut into too much. Whereas if you actually select it on, actually it might be alright. Overthinking as usual. And we're just going to cut these. And yes, you can, like say, just use automatic UV, but I don't really like it. I'll always do it. Do it this way. Is that added? Don't want to do that. Maybe because we selected a different bit. don't need to do that. And so in reality, like, there are a couple other sort of things that we can, tips and tricks that we can do, but for the majority of it, this is kind of it. Making sure your UVs are clean is, I'm not going to lie, it can be tedious, but once you've done it, it'll be worth it in the long run. I know you can texture stuff without UVs and do it all procedurally now these days. Well, you could before, but there are a lot of tricks that you can go around. You can do like multiplanar projections and stuff like that. But the thing is, sometimes it doesn't. That's good if you want to just do everything procedurally and do it a certain way, but you got to remember that if you're working in a team, not everyone wants to do things the same. Although there's like good practice and stuff like that, not everyone will want to do it the way that you think's best. Some people like to do it different ways, so it's good to make sure that you're being a good team player. So you can in your align and snap note your where are we? Arrange and layout. You can orientate the shells as well if you want. I find that this works best when you've kind of already roughly placed them. Otherwise it's a 50-50 if it goes the right way sometimes. So I'm basically do the same thing for this one now. And I'm just, I probably don't need that. Let's close our attribute editor just so you get a bit more viewing. So I wonder how many has actually got this far that they're actually going to UV stuff. Let me know in the comments. Trying to be a bit more engaging, you know, instead of requesting someone say pineapples in the chat. Although I do enjoy it when I see the random word come out. I'm just going to set that. And what I'll do, I'll just so when I'm sort of placing these, you can easily got like loads of layout tools. I always feel they don't really do it the way I want them to, and that's not always a bad thing. I get quite picky with my UVs, I guess. I just want to make sure that they're covering all bases, really, because there's nothing worse when you think you're done and you have to go back and redo stuff. So and we won't have to do all of these like a lot, like I said before. A lot of this is duplicate stuff, so if you want you can actually select all of them, just unfold, and if we orientate shells, most of them have not gone the right way, and it's entirely, see now, when you rotate it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It needs to really, yeah, I'm not saying that these are the best, I'm not too bothered that that's backwards, because this is all going to be procedure anyway. If that's that one, you got your rotate 90 degrees, and you can set your degrees as well. Cool. We'll just turn on our checkerboard and everything should look really nice. And what I kind of try to do is I'll make sure I'm packing them in squares. So now when I come to finally organizing it all, they're easy to put together. So we've got this split pin, got 2 of them. We only have to do one, then we just duplicate it, and we'll do that a lot throughout. So if we delete the UVs on it, and just a little brain fart in. Cool. We can turn that off. I'm sure there's a hotkey for it, but meh. So I'm just going to select that on an entire edge. I think that should probably get us actually done. So set that. The annoying thing about when you use the set text density would be, I'm sure there probably is a tool, but say like if I it's quite annoying that like if I some reason I did it like that and it's set text density, they kind of all push apart. It'd be nice if there was a way to keep that relationship close, but it doesn't matter really. Being very picky about, I know people go on about Maya, but it's actually pretty good software. Do you know what, that was so simple to do. Some things are just simpler to just do twice, I'm not gonna lie. I know I said I'd just duplicate it, but because this was literally the simplest thing ever to UV in the world, I'll just leave it in place. Sometimes when you do that and move it and orientate it, it's not quite got it there, but it doesn't matter. I guess it's always picking and choosing what you think is quick enough for you. In this case, probably just save a very small amount of time by repositioning it and stuff. What we got here? We've got this little bit here. Same again. Delete UVs. Probably could hotkey these. Need to make sure you select it. Ooh. Cool. So this is not a... You can see this is probably one of those models that we kind of... might want it to put a little bit more effort into, but yeah, well. Sometimes you just get a bit tired of doing these little small things, but it doesn't matter. How do I want to UV this? So, if you're always looking for a tricky place to start, probably the easiest ones to always do is just do these inner bits, because they're always gonna cause you problems. probably... yeah, let's just do that. I'm not sure if it particularly matters so much, but if I do just keep it all in one bit and not remove the sides as possible, it might cause some stretching, which probably is not a big deal for just going to move these out of the way. Let's find a nice little place to organise these. And sometimes it just gives us a bit of a clearer view on how we want to. Obviously, if you're not texturing this, sometimes your texture artist might actually want to UV them. Some places do. I like the UVing falls under the texture artist, so but like I said, it's an essential basic to learn. Like, UVing is not complicated, it's just one of those things that are kind of a bit tedious, which you all have to do at some point. If you create some nice UVs, there's that one, we seem to have missed an edge. Your texture artists will love you. Just putting all these inside bits. Now it's just easier for me to select those single edges and cut. I can UV and unwrap, set, orientate them. Some of them have gone, 2 of them have gone the right way, just one hasn't. No, that is correct actually, because of the edges. So yeah, I know I'm getting a little bit like OCD with it a bit sometimes, but you know, I'm just going to unwrap that, see what it looks like. And it looks like a mess, which was kind of expected. So we'll just not do that. Do you know what? Let's just do that again. Let's see what we got. Sometimes it's easier to kind of discern what we got when we've actually unwrapped it. So actually, So what I'm now doing, just kind of every bit's different. I'm not gonna lie. There's not a general template that's gonna perfect UVs every time, but there are. You can sort of figure it out as you go along what works for you best. So I'm just adding these sort of edges on. And don't forget, this is kind of a really small bit as well. I don't want to say all the time, you might not know this, but because that's kind of a... Once you've done like 10 years in the industry, you can say that. That should not be connected. Oh, yeah, I've kind of picked wrong edges here as well. You'll probably find that not all the bits will be like this. It's only because we've got not complicated shapes, just kind of annoying shapes. Well, I didn't just do that anyway. Do you not know? One of the other problems when you have bevels and stuff, sometimes you have these little giblet bits, but yeah, it should be alright. Cool, so now we've got all our bits set. So that's the kind of annoying thing I was talking about, they spread out. So that needs to go that way because that is same orientation. And you can see that this is kind of wonky, but it needs to kind of be straight. So what we can do, we can just select that edge, scale it, edit, pin selection, then Control U and unwrap that. Then if we edit unpin all, go to our optimize. And now we've got it nice and flat, and that's optimized. Now our checkerboard should look good. Cool, and it's just kind of the case of doing it for all of this as well. So, seeing what I mean when it sort of scatters apart? It's not easy just to keep it all selected, then move it close and deselect the closest one. Just so you don't. It's really easy to sort of miss bits sometimes. I may as well cut that bit. I think it's where I've selected probably the wrong edge to do. Alright, let's organise this. Let's put these round bits over there. So whenever I'm doing the organisational parts, I feel like I'm missing. No, I was going crazy then. I forgot. I was looking for more of these ones, but then I realised, oh no, I've actually turned them into these. I'm not like making them like super dead tight together. Don't think that's, unless you really need to. It's mostly if you're like really saving space for games, I guess. Cool, we've done that part in 33 minutes. No one's going to watch a UV video or 33 minutes, are they? Cool. So yeah, let's just keep these short, 30 minutes for now, and we'll move on to the next bit, I think. And yeah, just so they're not an hour long. The next one will be, we'll do them all as I'll release them all as a chunk, just because like this kind of quick, but no one's going to watch it. So please like and subscribe. It always does help. It's always nice to hear your comments and feedback and stuff. And see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.